Hi there, and welcome back to Mind-Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and the relationship. My name is Emerald Hill, and this is Dr. Laurie Ponsford Hill.
Hello, Emerald. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. What are we talking about?
You know what? Today we're going to be talking about something perhaps you've heard. It's called willpower.
Oh, I've heard plenty of that.
What's your thoughts when you actually bring up the word willpower into your mind?
Well, when I think about the word willpower, I think of short-term perseverance.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Being able to say, like, oh, okay, like, I really want to go outside, but I'm going to power through this work that I have to do.
Okay.
Or, you know, like, when you're in the middle of a run and you have to do, 45 minutes, but you're only at, 30, and you're like, I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a combination of you have the will to do it.
Yes.
Right? And then to power through it.
Yes.
So, willpower has kind of like a positive connotation to it, I think, and also a negative connotation to it.
For sure. For me personally, it's the reason why I say that it's a short-term ability is because a lot of the time when people have to lose weight and they say to their friends, well, I want to lose weight, the friend usually responds with, well, just, have willpower. And it's like,
I will myself not to eat that cookie.
Yes.
I have the power to overcome its magnetism.
Yes, exactly. But it's like, you don't have willpower that can last the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
So interesting, right? Because willpower actually really does come from somewhere. It comes from the school of magnetism.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of animal magnetism?
I think I've heard about it for sure.
Yeah, and it's a combination of different things, but basically it's based in willpower.
Okay.
Yes. So when it is that the thought is you're congruent with your internal self, your external self, nature, right? Your animal magnetism takes over and you can will anything to come true.
Interesting. Okay.
Have you ever seen those old movies where there's a hypnotic person and they have their eyes and they're gazing and they're using their eyes to mesmerize you?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's it. And actually, animals can be hypnotized.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's an element in regards to your energy in your body, which comes from nature, and so and animals, right? And so the idea is when you harness your internal energy, then you can actually really, not only be in immense self-control,
right,
but actually be able to control others.
Well, I guess a great example of that is the cobra. Like it sways back and forth.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's very good. I'm mesmerizing you.
And then it shoots venom into your eyes and you're blind.
Madam! Didn't see that coming.
Nope.
Exactly. So it's interesting, right? Because willpower actually really comes from somewhere, and it comes from there, right? Because if you're actually really in so much self-control, you can harness the energy from your environment, right? And you have the ability to actually really entice others by your energetic gaze.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really the baseline of hypnotism. That's where it is that it comes from.
Okay.
Right? A physiological response, eliciting an emotional response, and creating change.
Right.
Whereas hypnotism today is more to do with like communication and influence, using the right story, the right wording that has impact, that therefore creates the change, the emotional change to the physiological change, right? So through communication.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So there's several different, in fact, 10 different components in regards to willpower.
Wow, 10.
10!
Okay,
I know!
that's a lot.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we might go through them today.
Sure.
Okay. So here are the top 10 basic rules.
Okay.
So willpower, number 1, is based in control. And so when it is that you have total and complete self-control, then you have willpower.
Cool.
Energy is number 2.
Right. You don't have a lot of willpower if you're super tired and exhausted.
That's true, exactly. You're right. So we get energy from a number of different places, right? We get energy from light.
Right.
We get energy from sun. We get energy from our environment, right? And so really it's about being energized.
Right. And putting yourself in places that energize you.
Exactly. It's also good to realize in regards to energy that there's sexual energy.
Okay.
And really, when you think about animal magnetism,
That's actually where my mind went to when you said it the first time. Have you heard of animal magnetism? Like, I've watched Animal Planet. Like, that's all they show, really.
That's so true, right? And you get energy also, too, from the breath, right? From the breathing, right? Deep breathing.
Right.
The next is the power of the gaze,
Right.
Being able to hold somebody's gaze. Actually moving the eyes back and forth. How does that feel?
Weird.
Apparently, you don't want to attract me. Next is polarities, right? Actually really having opposite ends of the spectrum, being able to elicit control in both the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, the logical as well as the artistic. The next is words of power. Words have power.
Yeah.
And if you're actually really using the right words for who it is that you're talking to, that land, it means that they're going to have impact, and that person is going to be influenced.
Actually, a really great example of this is when your friend is asking you for money. I find the best way to say no is to say, I'm sorry, I don't have money for you right now. And it kind of like puts into their head like, oh, I don't know. For me, it implies like it's a powerful way to say, I don't have a budget for you. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. In order to sort of like protect yourself from that kind of like influencing gaze.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The next is to be actually with animals.
Oh, yes. Animals are great.
Well, that's right, exactly, right? So if you have the ability to actually be in self-control and to be able to control, then you can actually really use that power in regards to animals.
Right.
And if you don't have any ability to control an animal, then you're actually really not in control.
Wow.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, very interesting.
The next inner power ability is to actually be able to project yourself.
Oh, really? Like, not just how you speak, but like project to kind of fill the room?
It's actually really project yourself into the place of others.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can project myself into you and your energy and your way of being, then I have a lot more ability to be in control of you.
Interesting. It's kind of scary.
So true. It also works for the future as well. If I can project myself into the future, then I actually really have more control over what it is that's going to be happening in the future.
This kind of makes my mind go to positivity. Like people who are able to project their positivity onto other people.
Oh, yes.
So that makes me want that person to be around me. That makes me want that person to be around me in the future.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge influencer, isn't it?
Very much so.
Charismatic people, right? They have something. There's something about them that is an attractor. And you want to be in that feeling, in that energy.
Yeah.
Right? So you think about people who are motivational speakers.
Right.
Right? They're motivating you. They're using all of these abilities on you as it is that you're sitting there listening.
Right.
And people are sitting there in the audience mesmerized.
Right.
Right? They're actually, the person speaking is projecting themselves into you and your way of being. Right? Like a can-do attitude. You too can do or can be. Right? And people are sitting there going, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And seeing themselves in the future being able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Until they leave. The next is sensitivity. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, sensitive individuals are also very, very attractive individuals.
Right.
Right? If you can be sensitive to others, right, it's actually a very powerful force.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Back to that mirroring, right?
Right.
You get me, you understand me, that sort of thing.
I think it's important to have all of the other points of willpower, because it is interesting when you are a sensitive person, people are attracted to you because you mirror them. But also, if you don't have those other elements, they kind of find a way to use you.
That's right. They can overpower you.
Yeah.
Right? So you can be all sensitive, but if you come across someone who has that ability to have that willpower, right? Yeah, then they are in control of you.
And that's not something that you want.
That's right, exactly.
If it's for negative purposes, for sure.
Exactly. The next element is the development of the self. Self-development.
Right.
Right? I mean, the truth is, if you are in total control, you're not afraid.
Nope.
Right? You're not lost in any kind of emotion.
No.
Yeah. So to be able to develop that means that, you're even.
Right.
Right? You have an even disposition. No matter what it is that's coming your way, isn't going to throw you.
Right. I think that's a real difficult one.
It's so true.
Yeah.
The next element in regards to, in essence, magnetism, right, is to propagate the energetic force.
Okay.
Right? So that you're continually using techniques and abilities to direct yourself to where it is that you do get your magnetism from.
That's a really good point. Yeah. To constantly refuel your energy and yourself to be able to continue it.
Exactly. Yeah. And, whether that's to do with some sort of practice, right? Whether that's to do with being in a particular environment, whether that's to do with being in nature, right? Or being out in the sunshine, whatever it is that might be, where it is that you get that magnetized feeling from, to continue doing that and being in that presence of that all the time.
Wow.
So
this is a very constant practice.
It is, very much so, right? It's like anything else, right? When you think about it, the school of magnetism. Right? I mean, this is a learned way of being.
Right.
So, like anything else, this way of being is actually really an art form.
Right.
Yeah, it's a true art form. And I think it's really good to think about it in regards to being charismatic.
Yeah.
Right? It's a charismatic way of being. So, I mean, when you think of animal magnetism or the school of magnetism, really it's the school of charisma.
Yeah.
So, really good, pay attention to those 10 elements. How many of those 10 elements are you actually really practicing?
Right.
I mean, if it is that you would like to be charismatic in what it is that you do and who it is that you are. If you want to be an attractor of others.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. I think that people who want to be a person who have people that look up to them, it's really good to be able to practice these 10 elements of basically willpower, to be able to say, because you all have that person that you've met before that you're like, oh, I want to be around them. All the time because they're wonderful, but they're also able to be like, oh yeah, I'm positive towards you, but I also have these things that are my things that I do on my own, and you're just kind of like left there like, I want to do things that are my own thing.
Well, exactly. They are popular.
Popular.
So interesting, right? So we started with the word willpower,
right?
And how it is that sort of settles on you just as a unique word. So now that you know, right, the difference between the connotations of willpower, what do you think?
Wow, that's a really great question. I guess before, at the beginning, my thought of willpower was short-term bursts of ability to power through things.
Yeah.
I guess now my definition of willpower has changed from that to the ability to short-term power through things, but also go away and take time for yourself so that you can constantly be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I think of the term willpower, when I think of mesmerism, I really think of that magnetized way of being. Right? So willpower really as energy. Right? Constantly willing yourself energetically to be an attractor.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting, eh?
Very interesting.
And then gaining power from that.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that takes a lot of practice.
It is a huge way of being, not only physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
Right? And being able to use the gaze as the attractor, right?
Yeah.
And all of those different components. Yeah, so just have a look down that list of those 10, see which ones it is that you're actually really using, what it is that you're not using or never even thought about before, and actually really start to propagate them. Right? If the way in which you want to be is to be charismatic, right? A mentor, a person that is a motivator of others.
Popular. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Laurie, for talking to me about willpower.
All right, Emerald. Sounds good.
And thank you for tuning in. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, stay subscribed, and join us next time.
All right. Thank you, and bye for now.
Bye.
Settles on you just as a unique word. Now that you know, is that a yawn?
Yes.
It was.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to me about willpower, Dr. Laurie. And
what?
Nothing.
Do it again.
Ma.
What's ma?
That's what you did.
What did I do?
Ma. Thank you, Dr. Laurie, for talking to me. Ma.
Do it again.
Okay.